In 2nd Chronicles chapter 26, we see King Uzziah coming to the throne. It's amazing how he's only 16 and they put him as king overall. Of course, he didn't reign by himself, but had many wise men around him. Just the importance to the past Israelites, the succession of the king, not like today in America where it's a democracy and you vote for whatever whatever president that you believe would be best to lead the nation for the next 4-8 years. Well, some highlights, verse 4 and 5, and he did what was right in the sight of Yahweh, according to all that his father Amaziah had done. And he continued to seek God in the days of Zechariah, who had understanding through the vision of God. And as long as he sought Yahweh, God made him succeed. So that's key right there, as long as he sought Yahweh. And what are some of the things he did while living to honor God? He destroyed evil. Verse 6, 7, you see always fighting against the nations that are against God, that God had originally commanded the Israelites to get rid of everyone in the promised land. But they had disobeyed in the past. So what else? Yeah, he became very strong, became famous and ruler over many mighty men. Then the change in the chapter comes in verse 15. All these things happened, hence his fame spread afar, for he was marvelously helped until he was strong. That's right there, helped until he was strong. He became very proud to the point where, verse 16, he enters the temple of Yahweh to burn incense on the altar of incense. That sounds like a good thing. Like, isn't it good to offer some incense to the Lord? But the thing is, there are different there's different responsibilities. The king is to rule over the people. The priest is the one. Their role is to be the mediator and to intercede between men and God, or God and men. And the king wanted to take on this role himself. He thought, I could do this, when God had not enabled him to. So verse 17, we see Azariah and the 80 priests. These men are men of courage to stand against the king. The king has the power of life and death. He could put these priests to death if he wanted to. And he became angry when they confronted his sin. But then what did the Lord do? He put leprosy on Uzziah, and which means he would have been ceremonially unclean, not able to enter the temple anymore. But also he was separated from people. Verse 21, that's how serious leprosy is. And wow, it's so serious that even in verse 23, he wasn't buried with kings because he is a leper. Leprosy is not only a skin disease. It's in the Old Testament, it's probably not the ones that we know today. I think called the Hansen's disease, where you lose feelings. But similarly, it's the Jews saw it as a form of showing you're showing your sinfulness on the outside of your body, visible to all. You could tell a leper when you see them. So what are some notes from the Family Worship Bible Guide? Well, I'll read one point over the time we have left. The Lord prospered Uzziah for much of the 5 decades that he reigned. Prosperity, however, is dangerous when we do not guard our hearts. We read, but when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction. Verse 16. It is sad, but far too common, that when the Lord prospers us, we seize his gifts as an occasion for pride. How has the Lord blessed you? How can you make that an occasion for humility instead of pride? Just reminded how with great power comes the temptation for much pride, thinking I myself have done something in ministry, at home, with my family, at work. But remember, any good thing we can do, every good and perfect gift is from above, and all the good works we are able to do only by the grace, by the strength of God. So give him glory. and don't take any for ourselves.